The human experience is defined by boundaries, social contracts, and implicit agreements that keep the fabric of our communities intact. From a very young age, we are taught to respect lines that must not be crossed, rules designed to maintain order, protect relationships, and preserve the delicate balance of trust between family, friends, and colleagues. Yet, there is a fascinating, almost inexplicable counterforce within the human psyche that draws us toward the forbidden. It is a psychological phenomenon that has puzzled philosophers, writers, and scientists for centuries: the undeniable allure of the taboo. When an action carries the weight of strict prohibition, it somehow gains an intense magnetic energy that can override logic, caution, and even our deepest moral convictions. The thrill of the unseen, the rush of the keeping a secret, and the intoxicating warmth of shared silence can create a parallel reality where normal consequences seem to fade away entirely. This narrative explores those hidden spaces, embarking on a deep journey into the secret lives of ordinary individuals who found themselves standing at a crossroads where desire collided head-on with societal expectations. It is an exploration of choices made in the dark, of moments when the rules we live by simply dissolved under the weight of an undeniable connection. If you find these deep dives into the hidden complexities of human nature captivating, please take a brief moment to support the channel by subscribing, liking the video, and hitting the notification bell so you never miss our upcoming investigative deep dives. To truly understand how these hidden dynamics manifest in modern life, one must look closely at the environments where we spend our most significant hours. The workplace, for instance, is structured as a realm of absolute professionalism, objectivity, and clear boundaries. It is an environment carefully calibrated to suppress personal impulses in favor of productivity and institutional hierarchy. However, when individuals are placed in close proximity for long stretches of time, sharing intense pressures, late-night deadlines, and the emotional highs and lows of professional challenges, the boundaries can begin to blur in unexpected ways. The corporate structure, with its explicit rules against fraternization and its strict hierarchical divisions, inadvertently creates a high-stakes environment where any departure from the norm feels amplified. The psychological tension of maintaining a professional facade while experiencing a growing unspoken mutual attraction can turn an ordinary office space into a crucible of hidden anticipation. What begins as a casual conversation by the water cooler or an elongated glance during a stressful afternoon meeting can slowly evolve into a quiet understanding. A shared secret language that exists entirely beneath the surface of daily routines. Consider the intricate social dynamics of a bustling retail environment or a corporate office facing an impending transition. In these spaces, a unique subculture often develops, fueled by a collective sense of shared experience, and occasionally a shared sense of uncertainty. When a company announces a future closure, the traditional rules and long-term consequences that normally govern employee behavior can suddenly feel less urgent. The impending end of an era creates a strange liminal space where individuals feel liberated from the usual constraints. In such settings, professional relationships can rapidly transform. A manager and a subordinate who previously interacted strictly within the confines of their defined roles might find their evening text messages shifting from professional updates to deep, personal late-night conversations. The digital world provides a safe, immediate conduit for expressions that would never be permitted during standard working hours. As the digital boundary drops, the physical boundary often follows, leading to secret encounters in neutral spaces like distant hotels or during collective corporate trips. The thrill of navigating these encounters right under the noses of colleagues and family members adds an undeniable layer of intensity, creating memories that remain locked away long after the business itself has ceased to exist. Similarly, The healthcare sector presents a fascinating study in high-stress, high-consequence environments where human emotions are constantly pushed to the absolute limit. Hospitals and clinical settings are places defined by life, death, vulnerability, and intense technical focus. The professionals who operate within these walls, technologists, nurses, and specialists, work under an immense burden of responsibility, often dealing with erratic schedules and long, exhausting shifts. This shared pressure creates an incredibly tight-knit community where individuals rely heavily on one another for support and understanding. In such a highly charged atmosphere, the contrast between the clinical sterile surroundings and the raw, vital nature of human connection becomes starkly apparent. When an attraction develops between individuals separated by significant professional hierarchy or marital commitments, the stakes are elevated to an extraordinary degree. A single, unacknowledged encounter between a specialized technologist and a high-ranking specialist can reshape the daily reality of their working relationship, transforming a standard professional collaboration into a vessel for a profound, unspoken secret that remains completely invisible to the patients and colleagues surrounding them. Beyond the structured walls of professional institutions, the domestic sphere and the complex networks of family and long-standing friendships present an even more intricate web of unspoken rules. The concept of family is rooted in stability, mutual respect, and clearly defined roles that are meant to endure across generations. When a boundary is crossed within these foundational circles, the emotional ripples can be incredibly profound and far-reaching. The entry of new individuals into a family dynamic, such as step-siblings adjusting to a shared household, or the introduction of a new in-law during a momentous family gathering, introduces a complex matrix of shifting identities and fresh interactions. In the quiet spaces of a shared home or during the celebratory atmosphere of a major family milestone, the proximity of youth, curiosity, and unspoken attraction can create situations that defy conventional family expectations. The decisions made in these brief private moments are often carried forward through life as quiet chapters, never spoken of during holiday dinners, yet permanently etched into the personal histories of those involved, waiting silently beneath the surface of everyday life. The delicate balance of daily life becomes infinitely more complicated when the secrets we harbor begin to intersect directly with our most intimate personal commitments. While professional boundaries present their own unique challenges, crossing a line within the context of established romantic relationships introduces an entirely different level of emotional tension. In the realm of human psychology, the choice to pursue a hidden connection while simultaneously maintaining a public partnership creates a profound state of internal conflict. This tension is magnified when the object of affection is someone within an immediate social circle, such as a partner's lifelong friend or a trusted associate. The initial spark of chemistry often catches individuals entirely by surprise, appearing in the midst of ordinary routines, casual group gatherings, or shared workplace responsibilities. What begins as an innocent appreciation of someone's personality or appearance can slowly transform into an undeniable gravitational pull, a silent understanding that grows stronger with every shared glance and brief. Casual conversation. When this mutual attraction finally breaks through the barriers of restraint, it often occurs in ordinary, localized spaces that are suddenly charged with an extraordinary amount of hidden meaning. Routine environments like parking lots, empty offices during lunch breaks, or quiet suburban streets after a long shift become the unexpected backdrops for intense, clandestine encounters. The psychological weight of navigating these moments while maintaining the outward appearance of normalcy is immense. Individuals find themselves living parallel lives, carefully managing their schedules, deleting digital footprints, and adopting a calm, unaffected demeanor in front of their significant others. This constant vigilance creates a continuous undercurrent of adrenaline and apprehension, where the fear of discovery is perpetually balanced against the powerful desire to sustain the hidden bond. Over time, these secret chapters can become deeply woven into the fabric of a person's life, lasting for months or even years, fundamentally altering their internal reality while remaining completely invisible to the outside world in many instances. The motivation behind these forbidden choices is deeply tied to a desire for personal validation or a subconscious rebellion against perceived constraints. When a relationship feels strained, or when an individual experiences a period of intense personal vulnerability, such as a difficult separation or a profound emotional loss, their standard defense mechanisms can become severely weakened. During these times of transition, the attention of someone who is explicitly deemed off-limits can feel incredibly powerful and validating. It offers an escape from immediate pain and a temporary refuge from the heavy responsibilities of everyday life. This dynamic is particularly evident in close-knit communities or specific professional environments where everyone is familiar with one another's personal histories. In these settings, the choice to engage with someone else's partner or a forbidden acquaintance is rarely a casual decision. It is often a complex emotional response to unfulfilled needs, a searching for comfort in the very places where caution should dictate otherwise. The complexity deepens significantly when these hidden dynamics unfold within the intricate framework of extended family ties and neighborhood networks. The neighborhood mail carrier, a family realtor, or an old acquaintance from high school all occupy specific trusted roles within a community. They possess a legitimate reason for regular interaction and proximity, which can provide an effective cover for a developing personal connection. When ordinary interactions slowly shift toward flirtation and eventual intimacy, the familiar surroundings of a quiet neighborhood or a small town can take on a distinct, surreal quality. Encounters are arranged in vacant properties, during routine daytime visits, or in the quiet intervals between daily responsibilities. The participants must constantly evaluate the risks of their actions, fully aware that a single misstep, a misplaced message, or an unexpected visitor could instantly dismantle their reputations and disrupt the harmony of multiple households. Yet, the very presence of these high stakes can act as a powerful catalyst, reinforcing the emotional intensity of the bond and locking the secret safely away behind a facade of pleasantries. The psychological landscape becomes even more treacherous when a hidden relationship involves a former partner or a long-standing historical connection. Reconnecting with someone who shares a significant past can evoke a powerful sense of familiarity and unresolved emotion, especially when one or both individuals have moved on to new commitments. The decision to revisit an old flame in secret, particularly when a major life event like an impending wedding or an engagement is on the horizon, represents a profound emotional turning point. It often becomes a high-stakes psychological game, driven by a mixture of nostalgia, longing, and a sudden desire to challenge the finality of the present situation. These encounters are rarely isolated events. They frequently evolve into ongoing digital and physical connections, sustained by continuous communication that remains entirely hidden from the future spouse. The individuals involved find themselves caught in a complex web of anticipation and uncertainty, waiting to see if the hidden truth will eventually rise to the surface and alter the course of their lives forever. As these hidden chapters unfold, the boundaries between different areas of life continue to blur, creating a complex tapestry of interconnected secrets. A secret encounter with a colleague during an out-of-town business trip, a hidden relationship with an employer's relative, or a brief, passionate moment with a lifelong friend's partner all share a common thread: They represent a deliberate choice to step outside the prescribed lines of society. The individuals who navigate these hidden spaces are often forced to confront the stark contrast between their public identities and their private actions. They must carry the immense weight of their secrets through every ordinary interaction, knowing that the truth has the power to reshape their lives and the lives of those around them in an instant. The tension between the desire for emotional fulfillment and the necessity of absolute secrecy remains a constant defining feature of their journeys, setting the stage for profound revelations and unexpected consequences that lie ahead in the shadows of their private worlds. The culmination of a secret life inevitably forces a profound confrontation with reality, as the passage of time transforms fleeting moments of passion into permanent chapters of an individual's personal history. When the initial rush of adrenaline subsides and the immediate thrill of the forbidden fades, what remains is the enduring psychological and social weight of the choices that were made in the shadows. The long-term consequences of these hidden encounters often ripples outward in ways that the participants could never have predicted during the heat of the moment. For some, the secret remains locked away forever, acting as a permanent, invisible barrier between themselves and the rest of the world. For others, the truth eventually forces its way into the light, completely dismantling established relationships, reconfiguring family structures, and altering the trajectories of multiple lives. The ultimate meaning of these experiences lies not just in the temporary escape they provided, but in how they permanently reshape the identities, values, and futures of those who dared to cross the line to fully understand the true impact of these hidden dynamics. One must examine the long-term outcomes of these unconventional narratives. In many cases, what began as a highly transgressive, seemingly unsustainable affair eventually transforms into the foundation for an entirely new, stable life. Consider the individuals who risked everything, navigating secret meetings in parking lots, managing parallel lives while bound to other partners, and facing the intense judgment of their immediate social circles. Against all odds, some of these relationships managed to survive the turbulent waters of discovery and transition, eventually evolving into legal marriages and growing into families with children of their own. 15 or 20 years down the line, these individuals often look back at their chaotic beginnings with a mixture of complex emotions. While they may not be proud of the deceit that characterized their early days, they frequently view the ultimate decision to pursue their genuine connection as the most defining and successful choice of their entire lives, proving that deep human bonds can sometimes emerge from the most controversial circumstances. Conversely, many of these forbidden stories conclude with a profound sense of isolation, regret, and unresolved tension that lingers for decades. When a hidden relationship occurs between long-standing friends or close associates, the sudden ending of the affair can leave an emptiness that can never be truly filled. In tragic circumstances where an original partner passes away after an affair has occurred, the surviving individual is often left to carry a crushing burden of self-reproach, wishing desperately that they had chosen a different path. The realization that a singular, secret choice has permanently compromised a sacred trust can lead to a lifetime of quiet contemplation. Furthermore, when the secret involves individuals within small, interconnected professional or academic communities, such as an athletic coach and a student, or a supervisor and an employee, the fallout often requires a total withdrawal from that environment. The participants are forced to alter their daily routines, avoid specific public events, and carry the permanent discomfort of an unresolved narrative just to avoid a disruptive public confrontation. In the intricate sphere of family relationships, the long-term resolution of these secrets can be uniquely challenging, creating deep undercurrents that influence family interactions for generations. When boundaries are crossed between extended family members, such as a stepbrother and stepsister during their formative years, or an individual and an in-law met at a family wedding, the resulting secret becomes a permanent fixture of the family dynamic. Even if the behavior ceases entirely, and both parties move on to marry other people and establish separate households, the unexpressed knowledge of their past connection remains present during every holiday gathering and family milestone. The participants must master the art of absolute emotional compartmentalization, presenting a flawless facade of standard familial respect while privately harboring a memory that defies the very definition of their public roles. This continuous balancing act requires an immense amount of psychological discipline, ensuring that the quiet truth never slips out to disrupt the fragile peace of the larger family unit. Ultimately, these diverse narratives reveal that human desire and social boundaries exist in a state of perpetual dynamic tension. Whether motivated by a need for validation during a difficult life transition, an intense reaction to an overly restrictive environment, or an undeniable immediate chemistry that refused to be ignored. Each individual who entered these forbidden spaces was forced to confront their own limitations and vulnerabilities. The stories of the workplace manager navigating an impending corporate shutdown, the neighborhood mail carrier finding adventure in a quiet suburb, and the long-lost friends reconnecting in the tight confines of a vehicle all point to a fundamental truth about human nature. The rules we create to govern our behavior are constantly being tested by the unpredictable complexity of our emotions. These hidden experiences, whether they result in a lifetime of regret, a quiet and permanent secret, or the unexpected birth of a completely new family, remain some of the most powerful, transformative chapters in the human experience, demonstrating that what happens in the dark can echo loudly through the rest of our lives.